In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a page to your form and to collect a certain set of details from that page. So for example, we're going to have a page here that collects all the student details on the expression of interest for enrolment, and then we'll have another page after that that's going to start collecting parent details. So making sure my enrolment form expression of interest is selected, I'm going to click on New Page, and that gives me a page to start working with. Okay, now I could just leave it at that, save the properties of the page and do nothing else, but I'm going to just edit the introduction for that one. And put a few instructions on there. Please enter all of the required details of the student who is interested in enrolling. Might have an extra L in there. And save that one. Now save the properties, and straight away I'll save the form as well. Now I'm going to move on from there, and I could add sections here and put several different sections, say student details, parent details, etc., all as different sections, or I could just put them all on separate pages, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put student details on page 1, so make sure page 1 is selected and go straight to New Element, and we're going to put the student details in here. So the type of field I want is simply a text field. The label for it is going to be student first name. Now the name field is actually used by the computer program, or in particular the database, and we just use very simple naming convention there. So I'm going to say student first name. So I'm not putting spaces or special characters or anything like that in. Keep it very simple. I'm not going to have a value in there. They're going to enter the value for me. I'm going to put a size there. 50 characters will be very generous, and maximum length will be 50 as well. You could put a hint in if you like. Say, please enter your student's first name in here. I'm not going to worry about the hint. In terms of validation, so this validates what's entered into the form and decides whether it's okay or not. The only validation I'm going to use here is I'm going to say it's required. So if they don't put anything in, the form's going to ask them again to do that. So I'll save those properties, and then I'm going to save the form again. And then at that point you might like to look at a preview, so you can click on the preview button or site preview, and this is what it looks like it would look like on the site. Alright, so student first name, and there's a space there that they can fill in, and say there's my introduction up the top there. Alright, so I'll continue. Again, I'll make sure that page 1 is selected and go on to New Element, and now I want the student's last name. And the name field, again, very simple naming convention. I'll have the size as 50 again, maximum length will be 50. Again, you could put a hint there if you like, I'm not. Required is yes. Save the properties and save the form. And now I'll put another new element on. So make sure page 1 is selected first, and then new element. Got it. Okay, in the label this time I'm going to ask them what the year level and year, actually it's more clear if I say grade level and year of interest. So do they want to start year 8 2014 or something like that? Okay, I've changed this to a select from list type, so we're going to make it a selection, and I'm going to make the first one, please choose one. and I'm going to delete this value 1. Now what that will do, so the last bit is what actually gets entered into the database. Now if I make this a required field, as I'm going to, if they don't actually change that please use 1 to one of my other values, then nothing goes in the database, and then the validation will kick in and say you haven't actually chosen anything. So I'm going to say year 8 2014, and then I'm going to make this one year 8, and I'll put an underscore between that and 2014. That is the entry that goes into the database for us. The next one will be, say, year 7 2015, and year 7 underscore 2015 is the entry to go into the database, and I can keep going in exactly that same manner and build up a larger select list from that. Okay, you can tick multiple if you want them to be able to select multiple things from that list, but we wouldn't want to here because it's just one student. Now I can leave the rest of that at this stage, save my properties, save my form, and then I'll do a site preview just so you can see how that one looks. Okay, so this is how it looks: grade level and year of interest. Click the drop down and you've got those two selections there. Right, now if I was to leave it on that and try to submit the form, it wouldn't allow me to. Okay, we'll just cut it there and do the rest of the fields for that one on a separate video, so we'll stop it there.